everybody. I'm Lori Schulweis.
And I'm Jen Giamo.
And welcome to a very special episode of Everybody Talks, the podcast where we have been exploring the wide world of wellness for exactly 2 years this episode.
Amazing.
It's hard to believe. I can't believe it's been 2 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
If someone had said 2 years ago, you're going to be doing this for 2 years and more, I would have thought.
But you still like it, right?
I love it.
Okay,
Don't
good.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. So while we're still learning so many things about our health and wellness, and what strikes us on this second year is not only what we've learned, but the people that we've met, the memorable conversations we've had, the friendships, the real friendships that we've made along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's given us an opportunity to, obviously connect with doctors, with best-selling authors, with wellness visionaries, great storytellers, and bringing those insights to our audience, right? But more than that, I think, and I think you agree, that every guest has enriched our lives in some way.
Everyone. There's not an episode that I would think of that I didn't take away something.
Yeah, and just like and felt that genuine connection with the person. Like not only like expanded our thinking on the topic, but just left a mark on our community and on ourselves, you know? Footprints on our souls, I feel like.
Footprints on our souls.
Yeah.
Jen Giamo getting very pensive and thoughtful in our second anniversary episode.
No,
I
it's
think
true.
It's true.
These relationships, we never would have built these without this platform.
No.
We wouldn't have known who these people even are.
No. I mean, the places we've been, the people we've met.
Yeah.
One person introduces you to someone else, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, do you want to come on our podcast? We meet them, we talk to them. And
they love us. Inevitably, right?
Inevitably. We're very lovable, us two.
I think that, we've just been fortunate enough with all these connections that we've made to become part of like a bigger community and these people that are really having impactful conversations, you know? I think it's led to personal development for us.
Right.
Professional growth for us and the podcast.
Definitely.
Right? So with that, we have someone that we really admire and respect.
Agreed.
Invited us to be a guest on his podcast.
Yeah. That was, first of all, we were so honored to be invited as a guest.
Yeah. And then to be invited by him was like,
even
this is
a greater
super cool.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what really sparked this deeper reflection on exactly why celebrating this second anniversary through the lens of relationships just meant so much to us, just felt like an important thing to do.
I know. And so being guests reminded us really how powerful this connections that can be and how they've reinforced like our mission, how we started in this wide world of wellness. And we want to continue bonding with people who've shaped and influenced us along the way.
Right.
So in honor of the milestone of the 2 years, instead of taking you a look back, we are going to share our interview with Dr. Harry Cohen on his podcast, Be the Sun, Not the Salt. We hope you enjoy it. It gives a lot of our thoughts, how we felt about certain guests and certain things that we've experienced along the way in the past 2 years. In our lives.
Yeah.
We've each gone through a lot of milestones together, and we've gone through them with you as well. So take a listen to us on Be the Sun, Not the Salt.
Just as I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I just had this thought as we were kind of telling you our story and the different things that happened along the way and how you thought that I was here to help you to lose weight. And then I got divorced and then you got divorced and then I helped you through that. And my dad right now, this is why I'm being very emotional. My dad is very sick and he's on hospice. And so I know what's coming and I'm just waiting for Lori to help me through that next step because she's been through it already.
The voice you just heard is Jen Giamo, and she's joined by her co-host, Lori Schulweis, and they host a podcast, Every.body.talks. I was lucky enough to be a guest on their podcast, and I found them absolutely delightful, and their mission is really aligned with ours, Connie. And so we thought, let's have them as a guest on ours, and they were wonderful.
Yeah, and after we heard that podcast, we decided we had to have them as guests for sure. And I recognized Lori immediately from her role that she's been in for a while. She's an Emmy award-winning producer, by the way. She's done with what is now Live with Kelly and Mark, but has been obviously an iterative show with different hosts. And she's connected with Jen. She and Jen found each other and their friendship in a kind of a random way in a charity dog walk event. But Jen brings some serious chops with her. She's a certified trainer, a nutritionist, a longevity coach. And what's really fun about their podcast, besides their humor and their straight talk, is they bring science and soul and all of that to not just each other and themselves, but to us too. And that's what makes their podcast a lot of fun as well.
I listened to their podcast in preparation for it. And honestly, I took some stuff that has been part of my regular routine since then. They are focused on improving one's life, and my life is better for having met them. I happened to have coffee with them last week in New York City. I was doing an event, and they are just as delightful in person as they are that you'll meet them. And they're really wonderful people who really demonstrate how powerful friendship can be.
Yep. They're all about lifting others up, lifting each other up, and it's perfect for us here on Be the Sun, Not the Salt. So let's take a listen. Well, we're excited you guys are here today. I was excited when I woke up because I thought this is energy, this is fun, this is not hard work. This is the ability for us to take your message, bring it forward, because you guys are doing some great work that I love and can relate
Thank you
to.
so much.
And when Harry was a guest on your podcast is when I discovered your podcast, which was great. So you were so authentic and so genuine about the Be the Sun, Not the Salt message that we're very thankful that you decided to join us today. And we'll do a formal introduction to you. We'll record that later, but would love to start with you and tell us a little bit about your story. We know it, but would love for you to share it with our listeners.
Yeah.
Sure. This is where we're like, who talks now? Talk? I'll let you.
Tallest first.
Okay, so the story of like how we started the podcast, how we met,
How we met.
Yeah,
Like,
just
yeah.
about
okay.
yourselves.
So,
Because you're from
yes.
very
Okay.
different backgrounds.
We are.
Yes,
We're from
yes.
very different backgrounds. So my background is in health and fitness. I've been in this field for longer than I want to admit, 25 plus years. And started out doing corporate fitness and wellness, and then started my own business from there. And then it kind of morphed into just a lot of New York City kinds of clients and locations and group classes and all of that. And with that, I was doing a dog workout class, a boot camp for dogs that we called Fitness Unleashed. So, as you know, we both have dogs. So Lori and I met through the daycare where our dogs went to daycare.
Right.
So we were doing a charity walk.
Yes, we should give a shout out to Tanya Eisenstein,
Eisenstein, yes.
who at the time owned Camp Canine. We should give them a little shout out too. And I had done this walk the year before and had spent, after the walk was over, which, by the way, the walk was all I think of like a mile and a half. It was not like, it was more like a little stroll with your dogs, but it was fun. And so the next year I came and Jen had also come, and the walk was over. And the year before I had lunch with Tanya, and I was expecting to do the same. And she's like, look, I can't go, but why don't you walk home? Why don't you, this is Jen, why don't you guys walk? And so what ensued was what?
Was basically
A long walk.
A long
a
walk.
very long walk. And
Hours, I think.
yeah,
2 or 3 hours.
It was a long walk. But at the time, I was going through a divorce. And as you'll get to probably learn on this podcast today, that I pretty much wear my heart on my sleeve. I am an open book. I am super transparent, almost to a fault. And so I kind of word vomited to Lori for 3 hours, my entire life story and
Right.
what I was going through. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl is never going to want to like hang out with me again. This is like the most terrible thing.
It was crazy.
And then after that,
After that, I was still married at the time, and my ex-husband was at the beginning of what eventually led to our divorce, but was at the beginning of a midlife crisis and decided he wanted to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, and so needed a trainer. And so I was like, oh, I met this girl. And so she started training my ex-husband to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, which he did successfully, I think, thanks to her
Good
training.
job, Jen.
I'm gonna give her the credit, not
had I
him.
only
at all.
known then,
Had we
I
only
would've-
known. And so through her, like they became friends, but then we just became friends. And like I always felt like, the universe has brought us together and kept bringing us together. Like I would be in the park, and then all of a sudden Jen would be there in the park, and then
yeah,
it
we
would be
kept having these random run-ins.
random run-ins, and
which I guess weren't so random.
right. Right. And so then at the time I had gained a lot of weight and I was like, oh, well, if, he's using her as a trainer, I want to use her as a trainer. And so I did. And she helped me lose 30 pounds at the time, which was no small feat. Before
Again,
any
good job, Jen.
Well, she did the work.
any weight loss, it was pre all of those GLP-1s.
Yes, yes.
So that was good.
Wish I had invented those.
I know. And so so I always thought like, well, the universe brought us together because I needed to lose weight and here was this person. And then lo and behold, I decided I was going through divorce. It was kind of decided for me. And I kind of kept it to myself for a few weeks. I had found out that my husband had been unfaithful. Our stories became very similar, Jen and I. And finally, I realized maybe the reason that we were brought together is because we have both had this similar kind of divorce story. And she really helped me. Again, good job, Jen.
Thanks. I'm getting a
Brought
lot of
me
accolades.
A lot
here.
of
I don't know that I
accolades.
deserve
A
them
lot
all,
of
but-
accolades. And helped me get through the divorce, start a new life. Really was, kind of like the best friend you hope for when you're going through something like that.
Well, and you turned it into something that's bigger for a lot of people, which is a
Yeah.
lot of fun for people like me who you speak directly to me with so many of the guests that you have on. So you've turned this friendship and this great, chance meeting kind of into something that's big and beautiful.
Yeah.
And big and beautiful is really why we wanted you on our podcast, because the good work that you're doing, you're so authentic, you're so vulnerable, you're so, as you say, just out there and real, I believe will and have helped so many people. That's our mission. Spread this goodness, spread wisdom, spread helpfulness to the world. And you guys are really doing that through your podcast, but your guests, and your guests are talking to you, and you guys are sponges to try and, how can I take these wisdoms and apply them for yourselves, which I so appreciate. You certainly did that when you guys were talking to me. And I've been listening to a few of your podcasts to prepare for this, and it's just so cool to see real, authentic, vulnerable people be, hey, so how can I be a better, healthier person? And it's just lovely. I want to just praise you to the high heavens.
Well, thank you.
That's so sweet.
Well, I think also part of our, I don't know if it's success, but Jen likes to use each podcast as a one-on-one doctor's appointment or advice session for herself. And so I think that kind of brings out.
That's what it feels like.
Well, you know what's funny? It's that
In a good way.
Yes, I do that. I will admit that. But I think that it's also like a lot of my crazy comes out, and Lori likes to hide her crazy. So
hide my
mine is
crazy.
like right out there for everyone to see and hear. And Lori's like, yeah, she plays it like she's got nothing wrong. She has it all together. I'm like, oh, Jen's the one who needs all of this self-help. But no.
Well, it's one of the things that we have in common that we do this podcast for ourselves, and we remind ourselves that we're sharing it with others and we're helping other people grow in the same way. But every day we get to wake up and it influences the way like Harry, we were telling each other stories this morning. We've already used the work this morning. We've already stopped, taken a breath, and treated people in a way that they need to be treated. Maybe not necessarily the way they deserve to be treated in the moment, but the work it's practice for us too. So we do the same for the same reasons we're doing the podcast.
And we love that. That was one of the things that like it made us, it kind of flipped a switch in me, at least after we spoke to you, Harry, that I was so much more conscious and aware like every day, which was great. I mean, I lost it a little bit because this morning I did not start my day with a very kind anything, but I'm doing my best.
So that sentence, I'm doing my best and I'm aware, drop the mic, we're done. Podcast is over. I mean,
You guys talked a lot about 1%. I mean, it's about being a little bit better. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not perfect, certainly.
And that notion of being aware and trying to be your best self, that's today's chapter, is the whole point. And you got it. You got it and you practice it. And even when you said, well, I wasn't very good this morning, that's great. So you get to do the next right thing. You get another split second, say, okay, I'll try my best to be my best, period. And one of the beauties that we love about this work is that it is easy and therefore accessible to everybody. Everybody can smile at a stranger and forgive themselves and catch themselves being salty after they're salty. I was telling Connie that this morning I swore at the coffee machine, and it required water, and I swore at it as a reflex. And I thought, what I realized in that moment, I chuckled afterwards. It was from your interview this past week on your podcast that thoughts have a vibration, the Mary Morrissey podcast.
Oh my God, we love that. We love chatting with her. Oh my God.
And so it was a nudgy, beautiful reminder. Be the sun. Harry, you got this.
Yeah.
Harry, come on. Isn't that cute how you swear at a coffee machine when it doesn't work?
Yeah.
And
But
so
it did make you feel better, that vibration thing you were talking about. Because when you were on their podcast, you guys talked a little bit about it and said, isn't there sometimes it's okay to be the salt if somebody's like that to you? And what I said to you about that is I wish you would have said, yeah, but you're not going to feel better. Like in the end, making them feel bad is not going to make you feel better because of those vibrations you're talking about. They sit inside you and then you're like, okay, great. I let them know how I feel, but I still feel crappy.
Totally.
Yeah,
It's funny because I didn't say my background. I'm a
sorry, I
that
cut you off.
no, I didn't. It didn't even occur to me to say it truthfully, but it's pertinent to what I'm about to say, which Jen's tired of hearing about. But I work in television. I work at Live with Kelly and Mark.
People don't know that.
Show.
We'll do that on the intro.
Emmy
but-
award winning, by the way.
Yeah.
It should be in our
Award-winning.
formal intro.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
know,
big,
whatever.
big-
So
but
not
you're
whatever.
you're a big deal.
No.
What is it? Will Ferrell would say, I'm a big deal. Anyway, go ahead.
Because I know you're
I'm a very small deal in a big deal. But we recently, in the past 2 months, we've moved downtown to this new, very corporate environment. It was a very rough move for me. I'd worked in the same building for 30 years.
It was rough for me too. I
It
just
was
want to
rough.
say.
It was very rough. I talked
all
about
about
it.
you,
I
Jen.
couldn't. It literally paralyzed me. And for the first month going there, I was so miserable. And I'm not a miserable person by nature. And I decided within myself, like I had to stop it. And so in the subway, and that split second, I was like, all right, I'm going to buy into gratitude. I'm going to be thankful for every little thing. I'm like grateful that the subway door opened and I'm right by the entrance on Van Dam. I'm grateful to walk into this building. I'm grateful for the bathrooms that you just have to wave your hand in front and the door swings open. And so it has definitely turned my mindset there around.
Hallelujah. That's all we're after for everybody. Always. Make it easy. You did that. And look at its effect on your day. You're the same person, the same producer, but you're having a better day. Love that. So
You always want to start your day out. And we used to talk about that with our kids. If never have an argument or a fight when you're sending them out the door. Same thing for ourselves. Why walk out the door being miserable already? Got to start. Got to start on the right foot.
Totally. Yeah.
really.
It's so true. It just sets your day
Yeah.
up to be, it's like, I don't know. I feel like you then spiral into like all this negativity.
I agree.
You attract what you put out
Yeah,
there. Right?
I mean,
So-
people keep asking me with the dogs. I like the same daycare that we met at. My dogs still go there, and I walk them 45 minutes across the park. 6:30 in the morning, I leave, and everyone's like, why don't you just leave them at home? But it's that walk that's the important part to me to take to start my day. Even if I'm like complain about getting up early and complain about all those things, it's like. I realize, like, you need to grasp onto the things that really kind of brighten you up,
Absolutely.
and light you up.
Those practices, it's so simple. Going for a walk with your dog across the park, your dog's up, plural, is really a good practice. I so love that you brought it up. It's the tiniest thing, but it makes you feel better. And it's empirical. You're in nature, exercising, you're doing something for others, you're doing so many good things. You are being this magnificent heliotropic person. Lovely. Let our listeners or anybody who's listening, you know what, I'm going to do that. One of the things that I started doing since listening to one of your podcasts, it's really easy to do. I microwave some frozen blueberries and throw some chia seeds in it, and it's part of my morning
God.
ritual. Thank you very much.
I love that.
I
You're
love
very
it.
welcome.
You
You still have your
Joy
bowl?
Bauer.
You made
Yes,
my
Joy Bauer.
breakfast. Look at my breakfast.
Wow.
That's
Very
awesome.
impressive.
That is
Wow.
awesome. We're going to ask you for a testimonial.
I know.
He's the
Easily-
king of habit stacking.
Oh
It's
my
like a
God, yes.
yeah. He loves to add things to his day.
Heliotropic habits that enrich us, that help us, that are easy to do, that are now just part of who we are and what we do. That's really good, and we can do more of them. They're infinite and endless. And I've been listening to see, oh, that one I can incorporate. That one I'll do. That one is not a bridge too far. And we want, be the sun, not the salt, to be not a bridge too far. Anybody can do that in any moment. They can stop and take a breath and go, I'm sorry, I cut in front of you. Done.
Well, you were saying how easy it is, and we also laugh about how easy it is to forget because it's so
Totally.
easy.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be all that stuff we learned in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm. And easy to get irritated at a split second over something that
too.
isn't important. So I wanted to ask you guys, of all the guests, and by the way, you're our 50th podcast, and I'm very, very proud.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, how
We
exciting.
should have
Wow.
some kind of a ceremony.
Like an award.
An award. And I was looking and listening to your latest, I think it was 96. Of all of them,
100.
of all of them, would you mind sharing a couple that have stuck with you, like my blueberries and chia seeds? So far, it's about a week. Let's see if it's a year from now. I'm still doing this. But have there been nuggets that have been really sticky with you, that have helped you, stayed with you, that have been good, easy, that like, you know what? Whatever you're going to say.
Yeah. You want to go?
No, you go.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of doctors on, as you know, medical experts and people that talk a lot about women's health and perimenopause. And one of the biggest things for me was getting on hormone replacement therapy after speaking to one of the doctors. And it sounds very, clinical, but it really was for my mental health as much as it was for my physical health. I was very moody. I was, I cry at the drop of a hat anyway, but I was trying to get that a little bit under control. And just all the other kind of unpleasant things. So for me, that was like one of the biggest, that had the biggest impact, like immediate impacts for me. There's so many others that, I've tried to incorporate and keep, like yours, and keep on continuing throughout my days. But that was, I think, the most impactful for me.
Love it.
Well, I mean, if we're going along that route, see, I forget about it.
Well, I
So
feel
many.
like I know which one
I know.
for you.
Yeah, I'm going to say the GL. Right?
Oh.
What were you going to
Oh,
say?
I
I actually have two. I have two.
Okay.
I have two.
You can have 10.
I have 10. It's funny because I work on a live TV show, and if you ask me who was on that morning, I do not know.
Right.
And I think that that's the way I am sometimes with our podcasts as well. But I think that's, I'm going to say Chris Carr, right? Chris Carr is a kind of, I'm thinking everyone knows who she is. And she had just come out with a book, I'm not a morning person, which spelled morning, MOURNING. And so we spoke to her, and at the time, my dad was ill, and it was her words, and he died only a few months after we did that interview. And I wrote her a note, and it was really her words and her way of looking at grief in a way that so much of grief for everyone is anticipatory, and she makes you realize that, and she makes you realize how it comes and goes and ebbs and flows, and how once that person is not around, that how to kind of be on the train. The train comes ramming through, and so it was so impactful for me.
Yeah, what was her phrase? Like the grief train.
The grief train comes with like no warning, and comes along with a myriad of emotions. It's anxiety and anger and sadness, and
You're like kind of getting on and off that train. all
yeah,
the time,
as well. And it was weird time. Well, I shouldn't say weird timing. I think Jen and I both believe in a world with no coincidences and no accidents very strongly. So it was no accident that we spoke to her. And then this happened to me only months later, literally months later. And it helped me in the end of his illness, and kind of realizing that you have to look at what that person might need as opposed to what you need.
Mm.
And also after his passing, how to kind of help with I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and how we're still dealing with that kind of grief, and it's interesting now. I'm like a year and a half, well, a year and change out after he passed, and how each of my siblings has dealt differently. I watch my brother. I see it in my brother most of all. My father was very active and very philanthropic in UJA and those things. And my younger brother, who's 39, has definitely assumed that mantle of that, working in the world of philanthropy and trying to give my dad's, philanthropic works a future.
Legacy, yeah.
A real legacy. My
Nice.
dad didn't need any of us his legacy is there. It didn't need us. The 5 of us are also his legacy, and it obviously, but just seeing how each of us hear his voice in our heads almost daily.
There's so much wisdom in her recommendation and how everybody processes grief differently. I've often said when I was told it and then I experienced it, grief is not a linear process. It takes its own course through all of us differently. You got to accept that. 2 years after the loss of a loved one, you can burst into tears and go, "What's this?" And you go, "Well, to your metaphor, which I now know, it's the train."
Yeah.
Oops. We lost visual.
Lost Harry.
There you
Uh,
Hide and Seek by Harry Cohen. And you said you thought you had a second one, Lori? That's
Well,
top
the
of
second
mind?
one is much more medical, like Jen's, is that, I mentioned, like, we came together because I have had a problem, gaining and losing weight over my over my life. And so it was really a conversation with a nutritionist that we had on and another gastro.
Yeah, even when
Uh,
we talked to the nutritionist and the liver doctor.
Yeah, the liver doctor, that they're the ones who kind of said, like, hey, these drugs are kind of a miracle, and don't be ashamed, nervous about it, and it literally going on these
The
drugs.
GLP-1
The
drugs, yeah.
GLP-1, agonist drugs. And I've been on them for a year, and it's literally changed my whole life, and how I walk around in the world, But it really was from one of our podcasts, because I was not doing it. I was
She
gonna.
stopped listening to me is what happened.
I know.
Well, that's your first
Following.
mistake.
It's like having your.
But,
Yeah.
just as I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I just had this thought as we were kind of telling you our story and the different things that happened along the way, and how you thought that I was here to help you to lose weight, and then I got divorced, and then you got divorced, and then I helped you through that. And my dad right now, this is why I'm being very emotional. My dad is very sick, and he's on hospice. And so I know what's coming, and I'm just waiting for Lori to help me through that next step, because she's been through it already. So I apologize for getting upset, and
Don't.
I've been
please.
checking
It's
my
funny.
phone a little bit here and there, because I'm,
It's funny because I actually asked her the other day, should we have Chris Carr back?
yeah, I said no, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready.
But
Can I ask you, I'm sorry, Jen, how much time does he have? Do you know?
He's pretty close. I mean, we're at the stage where, I've been there every day except for today, and of course today I get this like emergency phone call this morning, but I think it's under control right now. But we gave him morphine yesterday, so I'm assuming that it's, they had said a few months, but I don't think that it's even going to be that long. I don't get that sense. I'm sorry. I don't want to this is supposed to be a very positive podcast.
This is life. This is life.
And I don't know if you'll be able to do this. I was lucky enough, my mother was in hospice, and I was lucky enough to record her and ask her to tell us life lessons. And she said, Well, remember, the most important thing, I've always said this, is treat your friends like family and your family like friends. She never said that.
Which is the best.
That's funny.
What she did want to talk about is what she wanted at the memorial, bagels and lox and the flowers a certain way. And she was very specific about how she wanted the arrangements of all the food.
Oh,
It was
wow.
very
Oh
cute.
my God. I have a friend whose mother, I is just on a no, whole totally side. I have a friend whose mother knew before she was dying, really, took tours of wakes to see which funeral home made them look the best. And that's how she chose what funeral home she wanted to be at for her funeral.
That's a planner.
Yeah.
And I've
And be
gone through
grateful
that.
you get to do that. I didn't get to do
Yeah,
that.
no, I know,
Okay.
I know. You know, the sad, I mean, all of it is sad, but the really hard thing is, so he has dementia now, and he doesn't know. He thinks he's getting better. So every day that I go there, he's like, Jennifer, when am I going to get better? Like, when is this? He thinks like he has an upper respiratory infection, and so that kills me,
Mhm.
But I guess on the bright side is that he
He
thinks
doesn't
he's
know.
going to get better, and he
Yeah.
doesn't know.
Mm.
And
Yeah, and to have
Yeah.
normal everyday conversations with him during that period might be something that's satisfying for
Yeah.
both of you.
mhm.
I went through hospice with a grandmother who, what I realized was I was looking for this epiphany, this wonderful wise thing to say, and all she wanted to do was talk
Yeah.
about that everything was good. Everybody was in a good place. Everyone felt good and she could feel good. And once she had that comfort, it's an interesting process to go through, just like grief is different for all of us. I think that
Mhm.
process of dying is different for each
Yeah.
individual. So I hope
Yeah.
you can get something. And I'm a crier. So I don't know how I'm holding off, but we got your back. We have your
Good
back
for
today.
you.
Don't worry
Good
about
for
that.
you. Thank you.
So I just want to offer my 2 cents and see if this is helpful, Jen. Surround yourself with people like the person to your right and anyone else that you can cry on their shoulder. Just be open and tell them what you need, because people really,
Right.
really like to be there for people who are suffering. So don't be afraid to reach out,
No, thank
including
you. Well, I said
the
to Lori
people
the other
here.
day, she calls me, every day, and sometimes I just cry on the phone, and she's like, "I'll just sit here and listen to you cry." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun," And she said, "Well, I can come over, I can hang out." I go, "No one wants to hang out with me. I don't want to hang out with myself." It's this very sort of,
Literally before we got on with you, I'm about to go on hiatus. And I was like, okay, I'm done on Wednesday. I'm going to be there on Thursday. I'll hang with the dogs. I'll get to go to the beach. You live by the beach.
Yeah.
So, but,
yeah.
you just, I think maybe because it's in my recent memory, so strongly, I know there's nothing to say.
Right.
And
do
so,
or anything, yeah.
do,
Right.
but I keep trying to say it. You keep trying to say it and you keep trying to do it anyway. It's just human nature, I think, to do that. But,
Well, I walked in with having a very salty conversation on the
Yes.
phone when I came in here. That's what I said. I wasn't very nice this morning. And, I don't know that I want to apologize for it. I was speaking with, with hospice, you have all these different nurses coming in and out, and you've got all these different, care managers and people calling and all these things. And I get a phone call this morning saying that they're going to deliver the hospital bed today. They just want to make sure that someone's going to be home to deliver it. Oh, no, my dad actually has booked a flight to Tahiti. He's leaving in a few hours. So I was terrible on the phone. I was terrible. So I'm putting that aside in my rearview mirror. I'm not apologizing for it, but I mean, come on, have a little common sense, right? Anyway, so I feel like I earned the right to be a little salty this morning.
you did. You did.
Oh, it happens to all of us. We encounter
Okay.
people at the worst possible moments where people are unconscious and say the dumbest things or most
Mhm.
unsensitive things, or in this case, could you fill
It's
out this
not.
form in triplicate?
No.
Is he home? Oh my God, I completely understand. They're just doing their job. They're not thinking
true.
about who they're talking to and what they might be going through.
Right. We're on autopilot.
I guess
exactly.
that's it, right? They just have
Exactly.
their sort of series of
Right,
questions that they
right.
have to ask, and that's
Right,
they don't
right.
deviate from that.
They don't know what they're doing. We got to cut them some slack.
Right,
Well, I think,
totally
Harry,
right.
that that's your story when you were going through your cancer scare and you were checking into the hospital, and you went through some of that same too. You're like, what do you? I mean, that's in those moments are when you're most vulnerable to being salty, and you caught yourself, but only because we were just about to publish the book. I think you said, I'm like, oh my god, the book is coming out, and I really got to go back and turn this around. You're gonna know me.
In fact, what I did is I was rude to the receptionist and I realized it and I was very salty as you were. And I realized it because we're working on this book. And I went back in and I just very simply said, listen, I'm very stressed and anxious, but it doesn't give me an excuse to be rude and disrespectful to you. And she so appreciated it. And she said, thank you. Good luck with your appointment. I was so proud that I cleaned up the little mess that I made.
Yeah.
It's a little game we play called I used to and now I.
And now,
It's
Yeah.
something that you were talking about the different things that the nuggets you've kind of latched onto from your different guests, and we do this with the chapters and talk a little bit about, oh boy, I used to be a lot. I'm better than I used to be. Good for me, even though I'm not great. I'm good. I'm gooder than I was for sure.
totally.
That idea of being I'm gooder than I was and using our boo-boos to quickly catch ourselves or not so quickly catch ourselves and then do the next right thing, clean up the little mess that we made. And if we can, be a little bit better because we know, wait a minute, that's not my best self. I don't want to be acting like that. So I love that we get to screw up and then go clean it up. So
I don't know is there any other be the sun, not the salt moments you guys have had reflecting back to think, okay, I'm going to do this a little differently because, or I wish I would have. Have you reflected back on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I have for sure. Lori likes to remind me often that I hold on to things for a
Yeah.
very long time, and
good job, Lori.
and yes,
Good for this one.
Good job, Lori.
Good job, Lori. There's
That's
no
right.
good job, Lori.
You're going to get lots of good job, Lori's.
no, seriously, you do. You pointed out. I mean, we make jokes about it, but it really has made me aware of like my look. I'm not saying that I don't still do it, but my recovery time is much quicker. My sort of like, oh, I did that, or I'm holding. Okay, it's time to let go of that now. That happened, 25 years ago. No, I mean, not me. I don't
a
know.
little long.
Sometimes I hold on,
Sometimes
yeah.
a little long.
But I think for me that just that response time or that recovery time has changed, and I'm more aware of it. And look, again, I don't not do it at all, but it's
Yeah, and I think
making progress.
Lori mentioned in the podcast. Yeah, Lori said in the podcast, not as long and not as full of fervor. You try and
Yes.
reduce the intensity and the
Yes.
length because both of them
Yes.
matter.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that, Connie. That it's the intensity and the length,
Yeah.
and that's the work of this work. If we can get shorter on getting irritated and less irritated, that's victory. So it's as simple and as hard as that.
And just like physical fitness, it's like muscle memory. It gets easier and easier the more, or at least it has for me. The more I do it, the faster I recover and the less intense it starts out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always think about that phrase, right? That like when you have all this like anger and anxiety against someone, let's just say it's a person, it's like, drinking the poison and expecting the other person to die, right? And
I just got an email literally with that quote like 2 days ago from a colleague. I send out an email every morning based on the chapter day of the month. And someone sent me that quote, holding on to anger and expecting someone else to be affected by it, or the poison affects us. It doesn't affect anyone else. It's so true. And I'm really glad you brought that up.
Well, that's very true. And Harry knows mine. I used to tell a lot of narratives to myself. I always knew what somebody was thinking about me, why they were doing it to me, and assume positive intent. Just that whole idea has changed my life. Like, I wish I would have honestly understood that when I was in my 20s. I would have saved myself a lot of grief in the workplace for sure.
Don't we all wish we would have learned a whole bunch of stuff when we were in our 20s? It would have made life a lot easier. I just love that we can learn it now. I mean, I'm 70 and I'm still learning this stuff and being reminded of this stuff
Better.
by my friends and colleagues and this work. And so the fact that we have friends in our lives that can remind us, that can help us, is really so great, because we are going to screw up, and it's the screw ups that then teach us, and then we can learn to do it better, just like you did for your sister.
Yeah, good job, Lori.
Yeah.
When you say,
Yeah, man.
she'll say to me, "You're still thinking about
Things, like I said, me forgetting things is I'm going to forget this conversation when we're done, by the way. But, so the fact that she remembers everything, I mean, that's what
Everything.
makes this good.
everything."
Um,
It's like certain things just get imprinted in your
Yeah.
brain, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
you just can't forget
Yeah.
them. But I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Lori,
I-
Lori, how do you use this in your day-to-day world? Because
I
I can't
feel-
imagine your work
yeah.
environment. It's got to be pretty hectic and fast
It
moving.
is, and it's been very hectic lately. And I try to remember that there's a couple ways I do it, and one is with the audience itself, the people that come to see the show. And like you said, like I am a known quantity to people. Like people, I've been, people asked to take their photo with me, and I've learned from Regis and Kelly after him, and now Mark, that you have to be kind to those people, and like it's like makes their day, to meet you, say hello to you, be there, meet them, be in the presence of them, high five a celeb as they're walking out, and you just have to kind of remember that, every day, because there's like 200 new strangers who are coming in, and we're there to entertain them in some way, and Kelly and Mark are the face of that, but we're there too, trying to do that. Yeah.
I so appreciate that you
Yeah.
get that. And you said
Yeah.
something I don't want our audience to lose, which is it's really important to be kind, and remembering that it makes their day, that you're
Yeah.
welcoming them and making them feel good, and not being, do you know who I am? I am a big time producer, is not appropriate. It's really cool the way you are with all of those guests. And I just applaud you as the producer and human that you are.
Emmy Award winning. Just throwing that in there. Throwing it in there.
And I will say
Yeah.
too, on the show and having been in the audience countless times, that Kelly and Mark are that way too. And and every commercial break, they will talk to the
Talking.
audience, and they are so genuine. Whereas like you will go to other shows and
You do not
there's
get
a commercial
that.
break and the hosts are off the stage. So
They have a do you know who I am? I'm
Yeah.
too
Yes.
big for you
Yes.
kind of a
Yes.
vibe.
I know. It's funny what and on the flip side, you always think of us, giving out the sun, but I was on the receiving end of the sun. This week, I didn't tell you this story, but Danielle Brooks, the actor came on. She's been nominated for an Academy Award. She's lovely. She's a lovely person, always friendly. I mean, I don't think she's been on in a couple years, and she comes bouncing into the studio, and I just happen to be standing there. And I, look, you see a celebrity, you're like, hey, welcome back. Hi, you know who they are. And I took her to her dressing room. She's like, oh my God. She's like, how are you guys doing in this new space? I saw the episode where you were saying goodbye to your old studio. And it took me a minute, but I realized I was very prominent in one particular tape about saying goodbye. And I realized she knew me from that. And so knowing that she was kind of recognizing me, like made me feel so
Sure.
good,
So one thing you can do, and I would recommend you do it, just text her, email her,
You
call her, and
uplifted
say,
me.
thank you for making me feel so good. It'll make her feel
that-
great
yeah.
That's
that she
great.
made you feel great.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's easy not to do.
It should
She'll feel good.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really funny, but that's the way, we have to be. And in our present circumstance, it's the first time all of the talk shows were all under one roof, down the hall, right next door, dressing rooms mixed,
Oh.
everyone together.
didn't know
And
that.
it has taught me that, we just have to be we're not the enemy. we're not. We're in competition, but we're friendly competition, and so that's been a real learning experience. I think for
That's tough.
all of our staff, because there is a competition among the shows, like to get guests first and to be on the air first with something or talk about something first. And so just to know that we really have been put in a position that we really have to all work together has been a real learning experience. And I think our staff got credit for being one of the nicer staffs,
Good.
which who would even think that if you asked any of us, I don't think that we would say that that was true.
I love that you got credit for being the nicer staff. Talk about being heliotropic,
Yeah.
being the sun.
Right.
People notice that. People could feel that. You should feel proud that you did that. You guys are that. So this is do more of that.
Right.
Laurie, keep it up.
Yeah, it's a culture. You know, you always
It
say here,
is.
you're not in a culture, you are the culture. And, you know, Lori, you've
Right.
been there long enough to impact that. So that makes a
So
big
true.
difference.
It is. It's so true. I mean, it's you know, and just, you know, in my job, I have to take into consideration when I assign things out, like who has a sick parent, who has a sick kid, who can't be there because of school, who can't be there because they're on vacation, who needs a day off, who's sick, you know, and trying to kind of juggle all of that and do it with
To accommodate everyone.
Yes, I have to remember. I remind myself daily that I have to do that with kindness because I get irritated.
I love that you can
It's
admit
honest.
it and you know that that's not your best self. And your goal is
Yeah.
to try and be more kind and be aware and try and
Yeah.
not be
Yeah.
irritated.
Right.
And
Well, and one of the other things I want to make sure that we project out, I mean, people will feel it listening to you guys, but the friendship, the importance of friendship and leaning on others, like Harry was saying to Jen, don't be afraid. People aren't feeling like they are burdened by you. People want to be. And so I think, especially as we get older, Lori entered the same decade I entered recently. And I think it has become more
It's
and more
rough.
important. It is rough, but I've embraced it because the people that are ahead of me in this journey that I've met are so happy and living life. And so I've been able to kind of take that same tact. But if friendships have become more and more important to me because my life has started to form around different things, it's not all about my job all the time. So I want everyone to, first of all, women's health, listen to Everybody Talks. There's so many great episodes that I've enjoyed.
Thank you.
But also, I'd love for you guys to lean into the friendship. Not everyone's going to have a friendship where you guys pass your burdens back and forth, divorce, lose a parent, lose another parent. But we have other things we can share. Because I've found it just fulfilling to listen to you. And I love you guys hold each other accountable in your sarcasm. And it's fun.
There's a lot of sarcasm.
There's a lot. I have to say, like, Jen and I don't fight, I think, because we know we can say most anything to the other one.
Yeah.
And we don't get mad. Well, sometimes we get a little mad. I might get mad. I think I get mad.
I get a little mad too.
Oh, we can
It's-
unpack that one.
I know, but it's nothing that I don't say out loud to you.
No, there's never,
Most of
we're
the
never, we don't sit on it. Like, and I mean, that's one thing in
Good.
my personality. Like, I need to take care of something like right away. If something is
Right.
bothering me, I need to tell you right
Yeah.
away.
Well, I just want to say, just going back to like that friendship piece, and we obviously met as adults. And
Yeah.
I was reading something recently about how, you know, you have these like phases of your life and of friendships, and you can have like these. And I have very, very close childhood friends
She really does.
that I'm super tight with. And, you know, up until really I met you, I really kind of kept to my circle of,
Oh.
you know, I would have acquaintances and
Yeah.
I'm pretty outgoing and friendly and whatever.
Right.
But as far as having like a friend that I consider to be another close
New
friend in
growth.
my circle
Yeah.
was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. You actually can develop a friendship like that as an adult. And neither of us are parents. So I know
Right.
a lot of my friends that are parents will say, oh, well, I made friends
Right.
through my kids' parents or through, you know, soccer games or this or that. And I never had that. So I just thought like, well, I'm fine with this. It's okay.
Yeah.
So I just think that's kind of important to say, like that you can make real friendships later on in life. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not as
totally.
old as she is, but
She likes to remind me of that every chance she gets. Like
I
when we
do
talk.
I love your love language together.
yeah.
Perfect.
But
I'm holding on by a thread. I'm
Holding on by a thread. Yeah. I mean, it's like whenever she's like, when I was in kindergarten, I mean, and I'm like, you mean when I had my first job?
It's like, what? We'll hear a song on the radio, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of like my sophomore year of high school. She's like, what?
Just say rude.
Totally doesn't give a chance to.
Not a good job, Jen.
I'm sorry. No, I get into
Bad
merit
job,
for that. I
Jen.
get into merit.
Go ahead, Harry. Trying to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
was going to say that friendship is, I mean, empirically, there's this great researcher from Harvard that did a longevity study, and the number one thing that predicts longevity, you might want to have him on as a guest, is friendship, is social connections. It trumps everything else, cholesterol and everything else, genetics, all the rest. And the fact that you guys have cultivated this beautiful friendship is, a testimony to its power, but also for anybody's listening, friends are more important than anything. Nurture them, cultivate them to your example you just gave. Well, I don't have any and I'm 40, 50, 60. So what? I know some people that found each other way late in life, and I can speak to the two of you and the friendship that you guys embody. Talk about learning to exercise at a late age, learning to eat right at a late age, learning to honor deep, enduring, and beautiful, authentic friendship at a late age. Let others go, I guess I can do that. You betcha. So let the world know that good company is extremely good for us, and you guys are good company for each other.
We are.
Thank you.
It's never too late.
Never
I
too
feel
late.
like it's
Yeah.
never too late.
That's always what I say on our podcast when we have one of these doctors.
You always say,
because
am I too late?
Am I too late? Yeah.
Can I still do
Can
that?
I still do that? We're learning all these things that I wish I was 40. Like, it's a frustrating situation. It's
Okay, so you learned it now. I mean, oh man, I wish somebody would have told me. I wish somebody told me. Well, we're telling you now, okay?
Exactly.
This is the secret to life. Friendship is the secret to life.
Yeah.
Blueberries and chia seeds, the secret to life. Exercise. It's all good. Well, what's better, exercise or friendship? Yes.
Right.
Well, now
That's so
we
true.
know you can have a be the sun buddy like they have. Just
Yeah.
nudging and that's what you and I do for each other, Harry. As we
Totally.
nudge each
Yeah.
other. Whoop, stop. You'll catch me often saying, you don't need to go there. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good for all of us.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys.
Did you have any other questions on your list, Harry?
Well, I think you guys, I don't know if you can answer this, but what do you guys feel the most proud of all that you've created and all the work that you've put out there?
I mean, I know one thing that occurred to me just this past weekend is that we have a group of, in addition to our podcast, we have a wellness group that we'd like to cultivate to be bigger and more people.
Much
bigger.
bigger.
So
For whoever's
anyone
listening
listening,
out there.
join.
Okay.
But it's a group, we have about 10 to 15 at any time women that have really hung in with us since the pandemic.
And of all ages, from like
Yes.
30s to 70s.
Right.
70.
And so we actually met. We've met different times over the few years, but there's one woman who we never met in person until this past a week ago. We met her finally in person. But that was great, and it's amazing to be with them. But what is even more great to me is that we've cultivated a group of friends. They connect with each other independently of us. And they left the lunch and they walked together. They met each other's husbands, families, daughters. And I'm so proud that we have cultivated this group of friends. And more than wellness, and if friendship is the key to wellness, then we've accomplished our goal. I mean,
Wow.
doing that,
Thank you.
you know.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably what I'm most proud of. And, as much as like I sometimes feel like I'm spinning my wheels and I'm doing all this work and it's like, oh, we have this small group, and why isn't it bigger? It's like, well, we have this group. We have these amazing women who have benefited so much from not only the health and wellness information, but like Lori said, the community and the friendship. We have a chat with them that
started out as them just asking me questions about nutrition and things like that.
Okay.
And now it's an everyday chat where everyone says good morning at various times of the morning.
I'm always first,
She's
sadly.
always first. I'm always last. And they talk to each other in
Yeah.
the chat now. And it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I really am super proud of that.
Yeah.
Please make
mean-
sure we've got that detail. We'd love to share it in the show notes.
Oh, yes, we definitely
great.
will. I mean, and look, and we're proud that we had an idea 2 years ago to do this podcast, that someone said, hey, you guys should have a podcast. And
Well, people thought that our Instagram
we're on
lives
Instagram Live
Yeah.
were a
every week.
podcast. Mostly my mom still thinks that our Instagram live
Is the podcast.
our podcast.
But I feel like we did it. We did
We
the
just
things.
did it. We just did it.
And also, we've become, I think, in New York, at the very least, we go to a lot of events here that we've become. I mean, I
in
don't
that circle.
in that
of-
circle.
yeah.
We're in the circle of these wellness women in New York City. I feel proud that we kind of, whether we insinuated ourselves, whether we just kept asking the right questions and going to the right things, that we created this, like you said, this podcast where we get to learn so many things.
So many things.
But
Yeah.
also we're learning so many, like we're learning out in the world so many things of how to meet people and become part of a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
And you provide those cliff notes to a lot
Right.
of people, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I asked that question.
It was a great question. That was a great question.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, I
guys.
think, this was exactly what we hoped it would be. Lots of laughs,
Oh,
lots of
good.
giggles, and just a lot of fun. Because
Yeah.
what we're doing is pointing people towards how we feel. We're getting better and better every day, and you two are doing it as well. I feel like if we could mash the two ideas together,
Yes.
it's like the ultimate go-to. Both podcasts.
I'll
so
start
thank you for that.
brainstorming.
I
I'm going
know.
to start brainstorming a
I
collaboration.
know, Claire. I
Love
know.
it.
Same here.
Harry.
Same here.
I know.
Love
Because
it.
you're in that wicked space for me. That's just perfect. So I feel the
Yes.
same way. I've got some
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. It was fun to be on the other side for once. I have to
it was
say.
fun.
So this was your first time being on a podcast?
Yeah.
Correct.
How cool
Well, not
is
my,
that?
I was on a couple.
Oh,
well,
she's
I
been
was
on.
a
It's the first
couple.
time I.
But first time
am.
the two of you,
But
ta-da.
first time-
Yeah,
together,
and in
yes.
a different kind of conversation. Like
Yeah.
I've been on
Yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah,
where I'm
that's
just
true.
talking about
That's true.
specific
Yeah.
health topics
I
and
love
things.
that.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We broke new ground. Our 50th
We did.
podcast.
I was so nervous.
your
I
Yes.
was sweating
Exactly.
so much.
I know.
So
I'm sweating
I'm
too.
probably
We
sweating
turned the
on-
air off. No, because we turned the air off in here. It's
What?
hot in New
Okay.
York today.
It's like
Wow.
90 degrees
It's
in New
really
York
hot,
today.
yeah.
We had that yesterday
Yeah.
here in Michigan.
Cool.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
great to have you.
Thank
hope
you.
Thank
hope
you
this
so
is
much.
not the last time we see each other
No,
and
I
spend
hope
some time
not.
together. So
Count
we'll
on
get you
it.
out here to Michigan.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
guys.
Sounds great.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Oh my God, how much fun was that with Harry and Connie?
Oh my gosh, I love talking to them.
I know.
And we hope that you loved listening.
Yes.
This milestone, I think, belongs as much to you, our listeners, as it does to us, right? So thank you. Thank you for being here as we continue to share our friendship.
Exactly.
Lots of laughs, a few tears,
A few.
alongside actionable wellness tips.
Exactly. We actually learn things and share things that you can do in your life to make your life better.
Yeah, and we hope that you will give us some of your feedback and continue to, spark some new ideas for different topics on upcoming podcasts.
Yes. By all means, we really, really want to hear from you and what you want to hear about, So we're always exploring new ways to offer you that best possible content with interesting topics and unique guests. In light of that, we'll continue to travel
Yes.
the world,
Near and far.
the states, far and wide.
Yes. Yeah.
We attend a lot of events. We meet a lot of people, and just trying to expand our world and in turn expand yours.
Yeah.
And so just trying to gain new perspectives, infuse this podcast with new energy. We are not done. We have more to share.
That's right.
Episode 104 is not the end.
That's right. And there's so many people that we want to thank, all of the publicists and friends who keep growing our pipeline of guests.
I know. Without them, we really would have much fewer people to talk to. And
Yeah.
we'd have to talk, when we say in the beginning, we talk to experts and sometimes each other. It would be a lot more of each other.
It would. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Well, they might. And a big thank you to our marketing team at Station 16, who definitely go above and beyond. They keep us out there on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll give you a little plug there. but they give us a lot of support.
Yeah, they do. Jackie Ryle and Aaron Navisi for our catchy theme song that you hear.
I know.
Every intro of our episodes and every outro.
I know, and I kind of take the song for granted.
Yeah, it's definitely catchy.
And you know, if not most of all, a lot of all, we want to thank you, our audience, for hanging in there. We know that you're loyal to us. You listen, you share, you support whatever we do. You watch our lives on Instagram, you comment, and you're out there supporting us, and we're so grateful for it. And we also want to thank, of course, our family, our friends.
Yeah, our family. I feel like the Giamos single-handedly support a lot of this podcast.
Exactly.
There's a lot of them out there. They're all listening.
They're all listening. So we really thank them. A special shout out to Tim Turpin, who, much to his chagrin, sometimes is part of a throuple he never really wanted to be a part of. But I thank him for that personally. And
yeah. And of course,
yes,
we cannot forget.
Never.
Maybe the most important.
Yes.
Our pups.
That's right.
All 4 of them this year.
Them.
This year we gained a 4th.
That's right.
So we want to thank them for all of their love and support and cuddles and snuggles.
Yes.
And
Milo, Murray,
Oliver, and Frankie.
Yep. And
yeah.
And thank you, my friend.
And thank you.
Hanging in there with me.
Thanks for having me connected
by the ear for 2 years. Connected by the ears.
Connected by the ears.
And cheers to
cheers to year 3.
Year 3. Here we come.
Here it comes.
Stay listening. Take care.
For more information about our podcast, to learn more about us, or to catch up on all of our episodes, go to our website at every.body.talks.podcast.com.
Follow us on Instagram at Shirley, at Jen Giamo, and at Everybody Talks. And if you want to watch today's episode, go to our YouTube channel at Everybody Talks Podcast.
If you want to be a part of the conversation, join the Everybody Talks community and become an exclusive member of our wellness group. Check out the link in our show notes to learn more.
Don't forget, if you like what you've heard, give us a 5-star rating, write a review, and tell a friend. We're for everybody and everybody. The Everybody Talks podcast is co-created, executive produced, and hosted by us, Lori Schulweiss and Jen Giamo. Produced and edited by Station 16.
Our theme song music is written and performed by Jackie Ryle and Aaron Navisi, with additional support from our pups, Oliver, Milo, Murray, and Frankie.
Talk to you next time.